Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. This is your Akim Madril Azil, back with another Feeding the Flock session. Also want to give a salute to the man of this True Farm, Rock Thumb, Shalom. I'm out here today, as commanded by our Lord and Savior, with the continuation of the prophecy of the downfall of Babylon the Great, aka America. This kingdom, Babylon the Great, is ruled by no other than Esau Edom, the wicked that the Bible speaks of, the devil that the Bible speaks of, Satan that the Bible speaks of, that red dragon that the Bible speaks of. So for those naysayers that, in these Christian theological cemetery schools, you got most of them, I ain't gonna say yeah, I'm gonna say most, or a wide majority of them, I'm gonna put it like that says that, because you have some that do agree, but you got some that, I'm gonna put it like this, you got some that agree, you got some that disagree. And you got some that say that Esau Edom, or the nation of Edom, the Edomites, have been done away with. Let's prove that that Christian theological cemetery theology wrong by the scriptures, because these people like to profess that they're that's why they go to these so-called schools, man, and get learning and get so-called degrees, and they like to profess that they got their real acclimated in their knowledge. Let's prove them wrong. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter, Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 16. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 16. Let's start. I'm going to jump up to 15. I consider all the living which walk under the sun. That means everything, man. This is Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Speak. I considered all the living which walk under the sun, with the second child that shall stand up in his seed. There is no end of all people, even of all that have been before them. So there's no end to all people, man. So all these ancient families, family trees, ancient people, they're still living here today, man. They're just under different ideologies, different names, and so on and so forth, because the devil was let loose for a season, man. It was let loose for 1,000 years to deceive the people, man. That's what the devil did, man. So you got all these people that are walking the earth now that can trace their ancestry back to an ancient people, which is a biblical people, man. We'll repeat that again. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 15. I considered all the living which walk under the sun. That means everything, man. All the living that walks under the sun, man. With the second child that shall stand up in his stead. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. they also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of the spirit. But the point of the matter is there is no end of all people, man. There's no end of all the people, man. So all these ancient people that was talked about, in these theological seminaries, cemeteries, or whatever you want to call them, schools that teach the Bible, even to these uh, let me see, prestige colleges, that teach history, that goes back into the Babylonian Empire, that goes back into the ancient Greek Empire, that goes back into the ancient Syrian Empire. All these people are living today, man. So that bloodline is still continued today, man. So Esau Edom is still living here on earth. And Esau Edom's false identity today, or self-proclaimed identity today, is the so-called white man, woman, and child, man. That's Esau Edom, man. So, sorry if y'all can't see. It's kind of, I'm out here kind of early, but, the sun's going to be wet and rainy today. It's kind of cloudy, so maybe a little sun will break through. With a lot of these talk, man, like I mentioned, I touched on it last weekend when I was out here, that, there's going to be wars and rumors of wars. All that stuff is stirred up, man. A lot of this stuff is stirred up, I mean, there haven't been much talk of Kim Jong-un, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be talk about him pretty soon, man. Everything's been focused on Russia and China now, and there's already talks about, can the United States handle a dual war, means a war with two different countries, man, two what they call superpowers. The United States at one time was the ultimate superpower, right? Who can war with the beast. But the Yahweh Shem Yahushua is stirring up the hearts of these other countries, man, to bring about that third war, man, which is World War III, man. So there's talks of war in the border of Ukraine. There talks of war in the South China Sea in regards to Taiwan. So Taiwan, as Ukraine, they're trying to claim independence, but China's not having that, nor is Russia having that. But there's talks of the possibility, man, and it's more than a possibility, man. It's a matter of fact, it's a fact. A World War III is on the brink, man. It's on the horizon, man. Just like this famine is on the horizon. A lot of people, their guard is let down based on these holidays, man. All these pagan holidays, man, that our people, which are the Israelites, should not be worshiping anyway. If you go into the ancient, the real history based on these holidays that you so-called celebrate, you would, if you have a real conscience, you wouldn't be celebrating these holidays, man, because you're actually celebrating the destruction of your people, man. You're actually celebrating or giving reverence to a false deity, a false god, man. That's what Christmas is, man. That's what the origins of Christmas it gave our people went off, which are the Israelites, was giving reference to false gods, man. And today is a continuation of that spirit, man. That false idol worship. There's nowhere in the Holy Bible that tells us to celebrate Christmas, man, Thanksgiving, New Year's, Easter. These things are pagan holidays that was made up by Esau Edom, man. You know, but he got those customs and creeds from the ancient uh, uh, nations. Well, actually, yeah, that's what it is. So Babylon the Great, aka America, is a mixture of all these wicked nations, man. Like Solomon, spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, spiritually called Babylon, spiritually called all these wicked empires that existed prior, man. There's pretty much all wrapped up in one. That's why this place, when it gets deserved, Salaki, when this place gets destroyed, it's gonna be rightfully so, man. This continue on. So with this so-called new variant, Macron or however they pronounce it, this thing ain't letting up, man. You think you got these people thinking that there's going to be some type of normalcy, man. The normalcy is that this so-called virus is not slowing down anytime soon, man. So neither is this so-called economy, man. This economy is not going to be ramped up. This way of life that a lot of these Babylonians come accustomed to, man, is going to be slowly changed, man, in a very dramatic way, man. Your comings and goings is going to change. Your whole perception of the way you think of Babylon the Great, because you think these people here, they're under the illusion that they're in some type of safety net, man, or sanctuary, man. Man, this place is going to change dramatically, man. Especially when the famine hits, man. When people, the scarcity of food is going to really come into it. In 2020, the year of 2020, man, is going to be a very interesting year, man. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, man. And Biden, Jim Crow Joe, said that he's not going to, lock down people. But that's what he's saying, right? That's what he's saying now. Just like he said about that vaccine. He said he wouldn't make it mandatory, but look, he's making it mandatory, man. He wasn't mandated, but that's what he did. See, he's a double-minded man, man. You can't trust somebody like that. So he says that now. He's saying that because Australia and different parts of Europe, they're already cracking down and putting restrictions on their so-called citizens. So be prepared for another lockdown, man. Yeah. Let's go to Psalms chapter 10, verse 5. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 10. I'm going to start at 2. The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Who is the wicked? No other than Esau Edom, the border of wickedness, man. Stated in the book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 4. Let's get that. book of Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. So that's the wicked that the Bible speaks of, man. That nation that's still on the planet Earth today, man. That some of these theological cemetery schools trying to profess, you got some people that come from that background profess that Edom is done away with, man. But we proved that wrong. The scriptures already proved that wrong, man. Repeat that again. The book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, have indignation forever. So Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai has indignation for these people forever, man. Let's go back to the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 4. Matter of fact, let me jump up to 2. This is the book of Psalms. The book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 2. The wicked, we just went over that, Malachi 1, verse 4. The wicked is Esau Edom, Sepharvaim white man. The wicked, in his pride, doeth persecute the poor. The poor is who? The righteous. The seed of Israel, man. That's who the poor is, man. We're being persecuted until this day, man. That's why we're always the face when it comes to this so-called venom juice, man. When it comes to people not getting it, who's the face of it? They're always blaming the so-called Negro, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. We're the face of it, man. Of the so-called percentile of people that are not getting this venom juice, man. We got to be careful of certain words because they're taking brothers' videos down, strikes after strikes, channel after channel. So we got to speak in code, man. But the Bible is full of mysteries, man. That's why the Bible is not as what's the word I'm looking for? The Bible is not as you can't take the Bible as face value, man. You got to dig in deep, man. You can't just take the Bible based on the surface, man. The Bible is surrounded by mysteries, man. The Bible does speak in code, man. So we don't have no real issue with speaking in code. It's just that when we speaking to you, a lot of people are speaking to the masses. A lot of people are further in darkness, man, because this is the shadow. This is the land of the shadow of the valley of Slacky. This is the land of the shadow of the valley of death, man. Let me continue on. The book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 2. The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. So that's what they're about to. These wicked Edomites would actually start with the banking families that own, that pretty much the world was given into the hand of the wicked, or the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. It's a lot. Yeah. They pretty much dictate the comings and goings of all these Babylonians here, man. They're gonna come down with great wrath, man, knowing that they have but a short time, man. That's why you got a lot of focus now in the media. And there's an article that I seen. I didn't actually get a chance to actually read it, but I seen the headline. And it said that it's time. This is Esau Edom's media. It says it's time to take UFOs seriously. So they're taking these so-called UFOs aerial phenomenons, um, you know, unidentified flying objects, they're taking those they're taking it serious now, man. And there's already reports on that, man. So let me repeat that. Book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 3. For the wicked boasteth of his heart desire, and bless the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. Abhorreth. Repeat that again. The book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 3. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and bless the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Lord, or the Almighty. The Almighty is not in all his thoughts. So the wicked, which is no other than Esau, Edom, they profess that they built the structure of their foundation based on the Bible, man. But that's far from the truth, man. The Most High is not in all his thoughts, man. The Most High is not in all his ways, man. He actually is not, the Most High is not in none of Esau Edom's ways, man. He think he's the God, man. That's why he took down the true image of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and put up his image, Caesar Borgia, man. Fake white man Jesus, man. He think he's God. He's the real atheist, man. He don't believe in a higher power. That's why he came up with the idea of the Big Bang Theory. He think that the Earth and the entire universe came into existence by a what? Mysterious explosion. And then you get different atoms. And then from those atoms form planets, stars, and then living life, waters, and what we see today, man. And that's what they're teaching in those prestige colleges, man. That the Big Bang Theory, man. That the Earth and everything outside of the Earth, which is the universe, came in existence by some type of explosion, you know, and created life as we know it, man, and everything beyond. So this Esau Edom thinks he's God, man. So he comes up with that ideology, man, that philosophy, and spreads it to the masses, man, which masses means death, man. That's why these people is walking in gross darkness, man. They're dead. They're spiritually dead, man. And they're continuing to be led astray by who? The wicked, the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. No other than Esau Edom, man. Let me continue on. The book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 4. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. His sight, Salakia. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. So that's the pride of this devil, man. When it comes to these meetings, these what's the word? These United Nations meetings, you know, he pretty much the way of an example of him puffing up his pride is what? Declaring sanctions, man, on these other nations, man, like China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and so on and so forth, man. That's him puffing up his pride, man. But there's already, as my brother put it out, you know, he made a video, but it's already made public. But he made a video and touched on it that the United States is guilty of war crimes itself, man. But they want to profess that they're the epitome of civil liberty, man, to say the least, man. The epitome of uh, equality, justice for all, and all that nonsense, man. But they're actually the opposite, man. Let me continue on. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. So the way of he puffing at his enemies, man, is pretty much, setting up these sanctions. Even here in Babylon the Great, aka America, man, passing these grievous legislations, man, that locks a lot of the Israelites, the tribes of Israel, man, up, man, with these grievous policies that he enforced and passed. We're catching the brunt of it, man. The blunt of it, man. We're a lot of those legislations are pretty much targeting you, the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Those legislations are put in place to restrict you, man, to target you, to say the least. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be an adversary. Slaki. He saith in his heart, he shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Slaki, I mean adversity. So he's saying in his heart, man, that's how Esau Edom think. Self-proclaimed white man. He said in his heart that no one can move him out the way, man. No one is above him, man. He dictates what's going on in the planet Earth, man. There's no one can actually challenge him, man. That's what he says in his heart, man. Here in Babylon the Great, aka America, man. This is the horde that set up upon the dragon, man, or set up upon the beast. So that's what Esau Edom says, man, and it's pride, man. That's what pride gets. Pride deceives. Pride deceives men, man. They think that they can take on the whole world, man. But Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to move this man out the way, man. Because his pride deceiveth him, man. Let me get that. This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 3. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? So that's Esau Edom, man. His pride had deceived him. Who dwells in the clefts of the rocks. Who is that, man? That's going back to the caveman, man. That's really them. The Geico caveman. The caveman that they see, that they teach in these so-called schools, man. That's really them, man. That dwell in the clefts of the rocks, man. They dwell in the clefts of the rocks, man. In the mountain, Mount Seir. That's where they dwell at, man. They're the real original cavemen. Let me repeat that again. The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 3. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? So that's what Esau Edom says in his heart, man. Who shall bring me down? Who can war with the beast? Who can challenge me? That's why he dictates all over the world, man, with these, passing these different policies and sanctioning other countries, man. Saying that, hey, I'm going to tell you what you can and can't do. You know, so on and so forth, man. That's the pride of his heart, man. Esau Edom. I'm going to continue on. The book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 6. He saith in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. So, meaning that the pride of Esau, man, is so, to say the least, I can't even think of the word to define this devil's arrogance, man. I'm gonna just say arrogance, man. That's another word of pride, man. Arrogance, man. Outlandish. Let me put it like that. The pride, his outlandish. If I'm pronouncing this right, pronouncing it correct. I may be pronouncing it incorrect. Outlandish. Pride, man. It's just out there, man. That's why this guy want to climb Mount Everest, want to travel to the stars. You know what I'm saying? His pride is out there, man. Like right here in the midst of a pandemic, you got these so-called billionaires. Elon Musk, what's the other guy's name, man? I don't even know a lot of these jokers, man. But they're more infatuated with traveling to, outer space, right in the midst of a so-called pandemic, man. Because this thing is a joke, man. They can care less about it, man. But they're in a tight spacecraft where they try to say well, I guess at that point they did have vaccines, but but you're in a tight spacecraft with about two or three other people. You know what I'm saying? Where you try to have enforced right here and you out